Welcome, welcome everybody to an exciting episode of PinTech Live. We're gonna play some PinBuilder tonight. Get some popcorn and your drinks ready. We'll be starting very soon. Alright, let's get this party started. Alright, hello everybody and welcome to a late night episode of PinTech Live. For good reason, because we are here with Annah Moore and we are checking out a brand new game on Steam called PinBuilder, where you can literally build your own pinball machine. Anna, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Uh, I was super excited when you reached out to us about this game, and it's been sort of a dream. I feel like so many of us have, like, to work on and create your own custom game. And there's obviously like visual pinball and other sorts of very, very complicated software out there that you can make your game digitally. But I think this is, to me, going to be a great pathway to kind of get your ideas out and kind of see the physics of everything before you go into that real world build. So thank you for spending so much time on this.
Well, thank you. You're welcome.
So before we get started on the gameplay and everything like that, like, I'd love to just know about you, Anna. Like, how did you get into pinball? What is your journey here that kind of led you to, designing your own video game?
Yeah, all right. Well, I found a deep interest in pinball back in the late 70s, actually in the mid 70s, when I was pretty young. A friend of mine and I loved to go to the bowling alley and play pinball. And so I had a passion for that. I begged my parents to buy me a pinball machine, and they would not, of course. But so I actually made my own little miniature one using rubber bands and wood scraps that were around the house and stuff.
Oh.
And yeah, that was kind of neat. It didn't really do much, but it satiated my desire to create pinball stuff. And I've always had a passion for building and making and restoring stuff. And one day when my friend Tim and I were at the bowling alley, there was a brand new Space Invaders machine sitting there, and we were both just agog over that. And I recall vaguely telling him, whatever this is, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to make that game or whatever that video game is, And we sort of chuckled about that. And it was in the late 70s then that my parents sent me off for the summer for a computer camp. And when I came home, they had purchased a brand new Radio Shack TRS 80 microcomputer. And that just got me going on programming. And before long, I was trying, I was making simple games on that and progressed from there through every iteration of IBM version from the 8088 to the 280, 286, 386, all the way up to what we have today. And over the years, I've had professional jobs doing database development, web development, Windows application and web app development. And for probably, I don't know, about 2 or 3, I don't know, it's probably actually been about 5 years probably now. I've had this idea that I really wanted to do a game just like what you see now, which is PinBuilder, where you could literally just drop parts onto a playfield and move them around and just do whatever you wanted and build whatever you really want to build as far as pinball machine goes, mainly because I really wanted to do that myself. And I had already 10 or more years ago built a couple of games for, I think it was Future Pinball or Visual Pinball. It was one of those. I made an 8-ball deluxe,
Oh,
actually.
cool.
Yeah, and my friend Tim, who is still my friend today, he said a year or two ago, he said, "Hey, yeah, your 8-ball deluxe is still in the big ROM package that everybody's sharing." And I thought that was pretty cool. So in 2020, I worked my last gig doing. I was a senior software engineer working as a contractor for a company up in Scottsdale, and that contract came to an end. And then from there forward, it was COVID, and it was hard to get another job. And I decided, you know what, it's time to focus. It's time to do what I've wanted to do and do what I want to do, And so I've been doing that as far as preparing to do PinBuilder. So I started it off in Unity, actually, a few years back, and it got only so far because the physics was just kind of kludgy, I guess, and it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I delayed my development. I stopped that and focused on some other life stuff, you know. And but then about a year ago, I decided, hey, Unreal Engine 5 just came out. Let me see how that works with the physics
Oh,
stuff that
yeah.
I work. Yeah, so the very first thing I decided to do was I built a standard plastic post. I built that in Maya, which is the 3D tool I like to use. And then I put that into Unreal and I created a rubber, it's called a physical material or Physmat, and set it up to act like rubber. And I created a ball. And these are actually
Whoa.
they're actually to scale. So the mass of the ball is to scale of a real standard pinball, and the height and dimensions of everything are to world scale. And I set it up on a little plane, and the ball just rolled down and bounced off, and it looked like it does on my pinball machines. And so I got very excited about that, and that was where things started with PinBuilder about a year ago. And so I spent about 6 months
Wow.
really grinding away, trying to get it to a point where I thought, oh, you know, I might be able to sell this and pay my bills maybe. And that's my hope eventually, is to do that. But really, you know, I've spent the last year probably at least 10 hours a day, every single day working on this. So it's just me and my cats. And
I was gonna ask, like, how big is your team? So this is all, everything you see at PinBuilder is all your creation, Anna. That's amazing. Oh,
yes,
and
yeah,
look at the
yeah.
shop. I
with
love it.
with few exceptions. So when we're looking at the shop, here you can see there's cardboard boxes and these shelf units. I did not make these shelves or the boxes. Those were some stock stuff I got that's free to use. But I did modify them with the Marco logo.
Yay! Thank
Yay!
you. Such an amazing touch. We're so honored.
Oh, that's awesome. I am especially fond of Marco Specialties because when I lived in Austin up until 2008 for 6 years, and when I moved back here, my same friend Tim, a couple of years after I was here, he said, "Hey, a friend of mine has a couple of games for sale." And I said, "Really? Like what?" And he said, "Well, he's got a Gorgar." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's one of my favorite games." And he said, "And I think he's got a Firepower." And I said, "Holy crap, that is my favorite game." And so we went over to Pat's house. So I owe Pat a gratitude for this. And I think it was $100 I paid for the Gorgar and $50 for the Firepower because it was just trashed.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, and the Gorgar is gorgeous. It was in great shape, but it wouldn't run. It wouldn't even go into attract mode. And so I spent 2 or 3 days actually just going through the whole thing, trying to figure out what was wrong with it. And my last ditch effort was to use a really high power magnifying glass to try to figure out if something was wrong with the main board. And I discovered that one of the legs of I think it's a 6502 chip. I think that's what's in those. I can't remember, but the leg had just come apart off of the chip. And so I soldered it back on and I turned it on and it said Gorgar speaks. And
Yeah.
yeah, I lost my mind. I'm like, oh my God, I did it. So
Ah,
that started a deep, long rabbit hole of restoration of pinballs. And
that dopamine hit, that first dopamine hit when you fix the game and it's working, and to get that
yeah,
Gorgo speaks too, man. What a
yeah.
wonderful
Oh, so
moment.
cool. Yeah, my first experience with Gorgar was back in, well, Prescott, Arizona is pretty much where I grew up. I was born
Nice.
back east, but we moved out here when I was 8. And we used to go to this Village Inn pizza joint about every month. And we walked in there, and they had this little arcade area. It was a pinball area originally, and I think they had 4 machines that could fit in there. And we walked through the front door, and Gorgar was brand new, just sitting there glowing red with the demon. And
Oh,
I was I
nice.
was I was really into Frank Franzetta. He's an artist that did artwork like Gorgar, and I think he actually did the original artwork of that monster that they copied it from. I think it was Franzetta.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. And I was mesmerized. So I went over there and played it. And by the time I came back to the table, my folks had eaten all but one tiny slice of the pizza. And I'm like, what the heck? But it was great. So I fell in love with
Worth it.
that particular one. Yeah. So that's one of my never sell machines. But
Oh, nice. What other
yeah.
games do you currently own, and also what games have you restored? That's super awesome.
All right. Let's see. So Gorgar, Firepower. This is my current stuff I have.
Cool.
Gorgar, Firepower, a 78 Kiss, um, Jungle Lord, 8 Ball Deluxe,
Nice.
Elvira and the Party Monsters,
Solid.
and then I have a 78 Star Trek that I'm kind of partially into restoring, because I really don't spend much time doing the restorations currently because I'm focused on PinBuilder.
Sure.
Um, but I also have full-size upright asteroids, Battlezone, Star Castle, Stargate, uh, Miss Pac-Man. I have a sit-down Donkey Kong cocktail. So
Ooh, nice.
those are all in my living room, and all restored, all just gorgeous. They're
We
all
want to
like,
come hang out at your house. You have
come
the arcade at your house.
on
That's awesome. Next time
over.
I'm in Arizona,
Yeah, let me know. Let me
I'll
know.
go to Electric Bat Arcade and then I'll come visit you.
Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome. Um,
Very cool. And then what
yeah,
about games you restored? How many do you think you restored in your kind of
let's see
career
if I
of
can
doing that?
remember. I fully restored. Turned out to be phenomenally beautiful. I was so proud of that. Space Invaders, Bally Space Invaders.
So
I
good.
not my favorite game to play, but
But it's
just
beautiful.
yeah. Oh no, I stripped the whole thing down to the wood, and resprayed everything, and I was proud of that. That looked great. So I've done that. Cyclone. Um,
Nice.
yeah. Alien Poker was one of the first ones.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I just picked up an Alien Poker, and we were both talking about our love for the weird titles like that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
did
the
you
art
restore the backlash? Would your project game have a really bad backlash? It seems like that's a thing.
that game, I've heard that game was notorious for bad back glasses.
Flaky.
Uh, yeah, much like Jungle Lord. Terrible adhesion of the screen ink to the glass. No, that was a restoration for a friend of mine,
Mm.
Tim.
Nice. Good old Tim.
Yeah, good old Tim. Excuse me. So yeah, that was a restoration for him, and at the time, I did some touch up on the back glass just to make it look better.
Hmm.
But that is a very very hard thing to achieve, uh, a flawless
It's
transparency. It's just almost impossible.
yeah, and that art is so detailed too. The
Hmm.
color palettes and stuff that they were using is very yeah.
Yeah, and even the playfield on that was just, there was so much detail.
Mm.
And the way I do playfield restoration is I will strip the top surface of the playfield of all the components. I'll bag them and tag them, and then I will go across the playfield and use usually alcohol and just gently clean the whole surface. Well, vacuum it, then clean it, and all that. And then my touch ups, I'm actually not too shabby at matching paint color.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's a
So
hard skill.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I hear, but I don't know. It comes pretty naturally for me. I've been an artist all my life, so I guess that's why. But
Yeah, for sure.
and I love it. I just love doing that. So that process is fun and just matching paints. But there's a lot of trick to it because the paint isn't the same color when it's dry, and yeah, you know. But yeah, so I'll do that. And then my first several playfields I did like that, I clear coated with Varathane floor finish
Mm.
because it's durable and semi-flexible. And the Gorgar and actually all of the games I currently have that surface, and they still look great. You know, they
Nice.
yeah, they don't really wear very much at all. Um, but for the newer stuff that I've done, I really enjoy using the two-part shaker cans of poly. You know, you just pop the bottom and shake it up and spray it on, and it's like a epoxy almost, basically.
Yeah.
And man, those look great. Those are nice. So that's what I do with that. But yeah, and when I first started doing that, that was about 2009, I guess, 10 maybe, restoring. And yeah, bought all of my parts from Marco, and I have so many boxes full of Marco parts here that, you know, because I would buy, like, if I needed a spring for a plunger, I would buy like 10 of them at a time. So I have tons of extra parts in, you know, in my shop over there.
Have you, well, I'm sure you have, but considered using those extra parts to make your own custom game? Like your own homebrew?
That's that would be cool. I haven't really thought about that. No, that's a good idea though. That's a lot of work.
You're like,
It's
I've been focusing on doing it in this video game first.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Well,
I do
yeah, you
have
can
some.
design a table on here and then use all the Marco parts you have been collected over the years to put it to real world.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, and one of the features of PinBuilder is the ability to do, well, actually, I think I disabled it temporarily, so it may not be available currently live, but there is an option to press a button that gives you a quick overhead snapshot and a plan view of your table that you could then print out on a sheet and use for uh, building an actual playfield to scale. So that's an option.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we just
Yeah.
got a question in the chat asking that from Family Game saying, will Pin Builder export pins to any design software to make that happen? Like,
Well,
could we take it and bring it into, I don't know, I don't know why you would want to bring it into Visual Pinball, but
well, there's no
software for
export
something
for
like that?
that, but no, currently the plan view export is just a large JPEG image, like a massive JPEG.
Okay, but you
So
can still print it and like put it on your whitewood
yeah,
and cut
definitely.
out your inserts and everything.
Yeah, you can mark your
Wow.
holes and yeah, insert locations, and it's pretty much got everything in there.
That's pretty
Trying to-
amazing.
I don't think I have any current decent exports of that I could share at the moment. I was thinking maybe I do, but that's one of the features that's been tricky to implement simply because it's just a whole nother layer of detail that each component on the playfield has to have. So every
Right.
single component needs to have a certain two-dimensional representation of itself. So when you hit that button to do an overhead snapshot, it hides all the 3D objects and then unhides the image decals that show
Oh,
the
okay.
locations and all that. Yeah, so that's a little bit of, behind the scenes magic, I guess. But
Yeah, I love that. And so I know we can purchase this game on Steam currently, and I dropped a link in the chat for y'all. I'll redrop it in again too, but uh, this is still like in a beta stage, so we will be seeing ongoing updates for the game. Is that
oh
right?
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's early access on Steam.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So basically, what that means is that the game is fully playable. Essentially, what Steam says about early access is that if you well, the game needs to be playable and fully usable, which it is, of course. You can build as many tables as you want to your heart's content, save them. You can share them to the Steam Workshop. So if you want to, like these are a couple of junky ones that I've saved. So you can subscribe to other people's tables they've designed and upload it to the workshop. So you can do that.
Oh, cool.
I am working on the game, like I said, 10 to 16 hours a day, every single day. And I check the Steam discussion boards and the bug reports for anything that needs to be fixed right away if something pops up, which has become more rare, which is good. And Facebook also. So I just keep an eye on what the community is seeing or interested in seeing into the put into the game, and I try to accommodate that. Like lower play fields were one of the things. A few weeks ago, somebody said, "Hey, when are we going to get those?" And I was like, to myself, I'm saying, "Next week." And it took me 2 weeks to implement that. And but once it's implemented, there's always a little tweaking that needs to go on, which I'm very having worked for so many people doing software development over the years, decades really, I actually find a great satisfaction in satisfying those wants and needs that my users have. So it makes me feel good to accommodate them in that regard, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And
That's
so
amazing you take the time to do that. What's the best way for a player to give you that sort of feedback?
that would probably be via Steam. Let's see. If you go to the PinBuilder Steam store, I guess, the store page, this is what it looks like. And so if you click on discussions on the top there, you'll see that there's all these discussions going on. So there's bug reports and, people have added comments
Cool.
and whatnot. And I always really, every day, 2 or 3 times a day, I check these to make sure that, there's not something really breaking the game, which, at this point, there's really not going to be much that would break the game. In fact, nothing's really broken the game, I think. But sometimes I get so deep in trying to fix one aspect or adding something new that I might go into another part of the game and like change something, and it might jack something else up.
Sure.
But this is probably the best spot to do that, is just go to the discussions, and you can put requests here and stuff like that. So it's pretty active. I mean, got a lot going on. And
another quick question we had in the chat was, in the game, which we will get to gameplay soon, and we'll build a table together. But is it just, can you program stuff as the player for like rule sets in the game, or is it all just like physics of the playfield?
Oh no, there's actually a pretty robust logic system in the game. So let's see. Let me pull up Alien Meadow. It's got quite a bit of stuff in it.
And are all these games at the top row ones that you've designed?
Yeah. So some of these come with the game, like Twisted Circus, Star Destroyer 2, Kaiju Battle, Alien Meadow, Unfathomable, which is it's basically Fathom. Excuse me. And Kaiju Battle is actually the same layout as Gorgar and Heavy Gunner. So those are all games that come with PinBuilder. And I should mention too that these are not all completed, and that's on purpose, because part of the goal is to get people to get involved in like working on tables. So it's not necessarily just buy PinBuilder and play the games. It's really build the games, but both actually. So it's whichever you prefer really at this point. But yeah, so these are not really complete. However, since we do have the leaderboards now, those 4 tables that you see here are on the leaderboards. So I'm going to be working on those and like fleshing them out and giving them full rule sets and everything here pretty soon. But to answer the previous question, as far as logic goes,
So cool.
there are a few modes to the game. So up in the right corner, you can see edit mode. So edit mode is essentially where you can just click on an icon and that component will show up, and you can move it and put it wherever you want. You can change the rubber bounce level and the color of it and stuff like that, and just place that wherever you want. And when you save the game, it will save it exactly where and how you set it up. Although that's not true necessarily for Alien Meadow. If I try to save this, it'll say enter a new name because I don't want it saving over the original version because of leaderboards and stuff like that. But then we have cabinet mode, which allows you to set up the location of the displays and textures and things like that. So you can do all that. You can pick like wide body or deep cabinets and stuff like that. But to answer the logic question, that is under logic mode. Excuse me. And basically, we'll get into more of this later, but essentially what it is you can place these logic controllers wherever you want on the playfield. They spawn just like any other object would spawn. And then you can hook them up to objects on the playfield. So, for example, this one is set up to control these multipliers. The name of it is not correct, but and you can also change the color of the traces. So these moving lines show you the direction of logic flow. And then let's see which ones. So like the slingshots one here, you can see that each slingshot has a flow going to this controller. And if you set that controller to be this switch type, which there are a lot of different types of logic now. Yeah. You can set it up so when one of these gets hit, it'll score 50 points and it'll play the sound. And you can select from all kinds of sounds that are already in the game.
Can I import my own sounds?
Yeah, for sure. So those will show up if you name your sounds. Actually, there's a folder. So let's go here. If we go to settings, down here in this custom files are in the following locations. You can see that in your user documents folder, there are some folders: user images, user sounds, table images, and then your save game folder is actually in your app data folder. And so you could put your own user sounds in this folder, and you can have them in subfolders inside that folder. So if we go back here and we look here down, if I scroll down to the bottom, you can see it says Kaiju Battle there. That's because there's a folder inside that user sounds folder called Kaiju Battle. And so then you can just pick that Kaiju Battle, and whatever that sound effect is, it'll play it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you also import background audio? Like, a soundtrack playing in the game?
Yeah. So background audio is actually in cabinet mode. So if I just press the 3 button or go, oh no, it's 2, that's right. So in cabinet mode, we have the background sounds, a game start sound, and so on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so if you want a background sound, this one is actually using a 3-dimensional environmental sound that's a unique thing to Unreal Engine, which is really cool. It's dynamic, so it's got birds and wind and things like that change, and the mix changes. So that's the background for this game. But there's backing sounds for other stuff too. Like I think that's Kaiju Battle, maybe Kaiju Rumble or something. And this Qbert one is cool. So one of the things, if you subscribe to a table on the workshop, and then you unsubscribe to it, as you'll see that I'm not subscribed to the Qbert table. It's not in this list anymore. It leaves all the media on your machine. And that's kind of important because you might have used it in another game that you've built. So so everything that someone generates for PinBuilder for their games that they share on the workshop is kind of a public consumption sort of a thing where once it's shared, everybody has it, and I think that's good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's this Qbert, which is kind of weird.
Nice.
Yeah, it has little weird details in there and stuff, but yeah, so there's that's how you do that. And then if you want a game start sound, you can literally pick whatever you want, and game sounds. There's even a coin insert sound that you can pick, so it'll make whatever sound you want. Drop a coin in and it would make that sound.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's how you do all the background sounds and cabinet textures, and the playfield textures are here too. So they're as easy as picking them. You can make whatever you want to put into the game as far as graphics and sounds. And not only that, but one of the latest things that I've added is the DMD. So let's see, if we go deep, we have a DMD here, and let's see, that trying to think of where oh yeah, that's right. So for DMDs, they're controlled by logic controllers now. So basically, if you want that DMD to play a video, let me see if I still have, let me look at hidden here. I think I have I think it's this one. Let me load this one up and see if that's the one. Yeah, so this one has a DMD that's actually running. And basically what you can do is, if we go into logic mode, one of these is controlling the DMD. So here, if we select a DMD video file, like there's this color DMD one, which is cool. So
oh, nice. Yeah.
So you can preview the DMDs if you want to. Judas Priest is one of my favorite bands from the 80s. And so I wanted to do a Painkiller table. But when I uploaded my video, they said, no, you don't have rights to this music, so you can't play. But yeah, so this is like one of the things I put in here.
Very cool. So would that be importing like a MP4 file for the LCD screen?
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the DMD, like, is there a feature in PinBuilder where I could design what the DMD animations are, or is that something I need to download as an asset?
Yeah, you would have to do that separately. For example, these I downloaded their video. It was the lyric video for that song Painkiller.
Cool.
Off of their YouTube channel, and then I took that into Sony Vegas, and I just chopped it up into the sections I wanted and exported those as MP4s.
Okay.
So, and then you just drop them into the user videos folder, which is in the same location as all the other user media folders. And so that's where that's sitting. As you can see, it's in a Painkiller folder underneath that. So yeah. So any MP4 will work. You can put them in there. This is a 1920 by 1080 full 1K screen, and currently it only sits in this one spot. But as you can move these guys around, if I can Why is that not letting me? Oh, I'm in logic mode. Um, so
Wow.
you can move these displays around really super easy. And when you do that, they save automatically wherever you let them go. But I want to do that with the DMD also.
Cool.
And another plan I have is to put a DMD underneath here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. So you could do that and just pretty much do anything with it, hopefully, you know.
That's amazing. A few more questions in the chat. Everyone's
All
super
right.
excited for this. One from Edible Bard. Are there? I think I see one right there. But are there ramps
Yeah,
that you can utilize too? And is it just a like? How does? We'll get into it, but I guess it's just a library of different ramp shapes.
yeah. Yeah, so you can see there's one ramp right there. If
Nice.
you want to, so the way the most of the components function is down here we have this scroll bar of components. And if you scroll way over to the right, there's a basic ramp, and you can rotate them. These you cannot scale, you wouldn't want to, but you can change them. So there are a few different types of these plain steel
Cool.
ramps, and those are fun. Those are cool. But let's see, do I have? There's also this kind of weird thing. I'm experimenting
Ooh.
with splines so that if you set up something like this, you can drag this and like move.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's another variation. That was a really early component that I was working on. And there are a few things like that, like these walls are similar to that. So these walls, all you do is hold down the Alt key and you can grab these grabbers and curve stuff however you want, really, pretty much.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so
Whoa.
you can make them straight or curves or however, and these are nice for, walls. I think
Yeah.
Firepower has a ton of steel walls like that. But one of the really fun things I enjoy is the habit trails. So this one is the default one that pops up when you add a habit trail. And so this one you could use to put right over here, in the shooter lane and get the ball up onto a second level. Let me get this over here where I can see it better. And there are a whole lot of variations of this one. So if we drop in here, there are a ton of different habit trails. So you just select the one you want.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all kinds of them. You can rotate, you can rotate these. You can snap rotation also if you want to snap to angles. So there's just a ton of them. I have some right here, or just one right there, actually. So you can see how this one takes the ball from the upper playfield there and drops it down to the lower one.
Nice.
And through that hole. Holes are pretty easy too. You just grab a hole and move it around. So yeah, there's just a ton of
I love you
different.
even have like the shadowing too of the lighting from the room. That's just insane.
Yeah. Just lights up there.
Cool.
Yeah,
Now,
and you
now
can
can you decorate the shop? Can I put some posters up on the shop?
not yet, but that is on the list. You can change the lighting in the room too if you want to. If you want to see
That's
what your
cool.
room looks like in the dark, you can do that. Um, you can turn on and off the grabbers if you want to. There's not many to see right here, but
Can you
and
program the lights to be like RGB GI? Like where that the red insert light right there, I could maybe change it from to pulse from red to blue or something like that?
that's a great idea, and not yet, but yeah, definitely. Stuff like that is just details that I plan to add
For sure.
as soon
That's
as,
so
yeah.
exciting.
So that would be something like probably just setting up a logic controller, just
Mm.
go in there and throw down a logic controller and then connect it to that light like that. Currently, these should be toggleable on and off with a logic controller, but I might have disabled that currently because it seemed like there was some weird behavior happening.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, definitely want to be able to change the colors of those. That'll be a tricky thing though, because
I
like for
imagine.
example, you might want to just I don't know, probably have an event type that's lights or whatever, some kind of light effect, and then there's oh my cats are going crazy. Uh, let's see, where is that? Somewhere in here, I have another pop out. But so there are these pop outs so you can update specific components and stuff like that. So I'd probably have a custom one for lighting, for controlling certain lights and things like that. This one actually is just so you can pick stuff without having to find it on the playfield.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
Yeah, but there is, let's see, if we go to Star Destroyer. Oh yeah, this one is a knockoff of Firepower. So
Nice.
if we go to play
Wow.
mode, you can see the there is a yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Oh, there they go. Okay.
Oh yeah. Cool.
So I set up some sweeps and things like that. So
Yeah.
the inserts and even the GI on the playfield should change. But it's strange because I'm seeing that some of those are not illuminating, and that's kind of weird.
Typical pinball. That's how I felt
Yeah.
like at my arcade too. Oh, light went out or something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the
Speaking
ultimate tinkerer's hobby.
It's true, it's true. Speaking of that, it's not active currently, but I have implemented a wear option, and the playfield will be eventually set up so that you can have failures and stuff like that. So like a coil may be out, or a drop target might get stuck or whatever, excuse me, stuff like that. And you
Do you,
can actually adjust like playfield wear rate right here, and
wow.
tilt difficulty and stuff like that. Yeah.
You said coils, can you go under the playfield, and are you designing mechs under there too? And switches,
Um,
or?
no, it doesn't really get too detailed underneath the playfield. There
Oh,
are
that's pretty cool.
some. Let me just go back to this one. It's just blank. So yeah, so there's not really any mechanization underneath the playfield. There are a few things that are close, like the holes, and
Little kicker hole.
yeah, and these guys are kind of like a solenoid. Those are just those auto outlane kickers.
Oh, sure, sure. Okay, so
You know,
anything like top of the playfield we would
yeah,
have. Well,
yeah,
that's good, because I was like, that was gonna add a whole nother layer of like, my brain
yeah,
hurts. Now I'm building, yeah, connecting wiring and stuff together. Which
yeah.
maybe
You
that's
don't
like
need to.
a PinBuilder 2.0. The schematics. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no doubt.
I
Um,
know. Oof.
it's kind of funny, but I would
It's a
like
good way
to
to learn.
set up the logic controllers to look more schematic like. That would be really cool.
Ooh, yeah, for sure.
A lot of
That
this
is
stuff
cool.
is pretty simple. I recently added the holes into the playfield option, which is really, it was a real task to make the playfield uh, mesh modifiable live in the game. So by that I mean like you can add a hole like this, and that actually makes a hole through the playfield, which you can scale. And currently it's pretty simple. It's just a scalable hole or square. So you can do either if you want. These you can rotate. Actually, wait. That's right. You can rotate these. Okay. So, um, and that includes this too. Actually have some sound effects for for those, and that's interesting. So it's kind of like routing out a hole.
Nice.
Yeah. These don't do that, but these do. I'd like to add build sounds to everything, you know. But oops, let me turn that back off because I think that just kind of gets annoying to me after a while. But there are a few different items you can select from, like that scoop, and they have holes built into them and stuff. So now that goes through the playfield, so it's actually going through it. Yeah, with a hole. And then if you want, you can add oops.
So if I'm oh yeah, that's nice. If I'm having failures on my game and I need to repair my PinBuilder pinball machine, say a slingshot fails or whatever, I can just go in my bar and just swap in a new one? Is that kind of the steps to fix the failure?
Well, I haven't really gone down that rabbit hole that deep, but yeah, it'd be something like that. Maybe take it into the shop or I
Get
don't
like screwdriver.
yeah, grab the little screwdriver and fix it. Yeah, you know, I hadn't really thought that deeply on it. I figured you'd just play it and then it'd fall apart over time, you know, and then you could just reset the whole thing back to fresh or something.
I think you could do stuff like if the flippers fail, and then you can go under and you actually see like a wire that's kind of popped off of the coil.
Yeah.
And then you have to like grab it and connect it back into the coil. We could gather a bunch of technicians, real world technicians, to just give you like the common failures and, you know, put them into this game. Because it's like, really, this is an entertaining game and it sparks creativity, but I'm really loving this and seeing it in a very like educational angle, you know. You're learning laws of physics and stuff like that here, and you're gonna learn about what the names of different pinball parts are. You'll learn how they interact with each other, and you know that easily translates into, you know, real world pinball as well too.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. This was a fun thing to get working, the plunger. So you roll the mouse wheel, or you can use a controller, you know. But just to get that springy action, and it has a compressible spring here too. So the spring actually compresses down.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's funny, some things I'm not sure what the actual word is for certain parts, you know. Trying to think of what recently I did. I think this was this.
And there's lots of different names for different parts too. But if you ever have a question, you know, reach out to us. We can. Oh yeah, I don't know, bracket.
Yeah, it's like a deflector bracket or something.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, okay.
It's funny because I often just go to your website, to Marco's website, and I'm like, you know, kicker hole, what's that called, you know, or whatever. And yeah, so everything I add to the game, I try to make sure that it is accurately named. I have so many parts of my own here that I have a micrometer that I actually measure stuff with, and so everything is measured in millimeters, and you know, all that good stuff, except for playfields. The playfields themselves are actually inches, so they're going by standard inch stuff, you know, there. But
yeah, Spunky in the chat said it's called a gobble hole deflector.
Oh, okay, interesting. That's cool. I will have to change that. Gobble hole. So is that the same? Is a gobble hole the same as a kicker hole? Or kick out hole?
Yeah, right. Kick out hole. Kick out hole. I think too. So Anna just started your own Twitch channel, right? Twitch account,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
are potentially going to start streaming these things. And I think that would be a great, just fun time for everyone to kind of get in the chat and, you know,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
participate and be like, oh yeah, call that kick out. I always call that like a kick out hole. Yeah, saucer. Yeah, hot saucer is another name for that too.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right.
Saucer. Oh, will
Yeah.
you be supporting auto plungers like on Shadow? It's a great question.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good idea. Actually, yeah, for sure. Trying to think. Currently, we don't support that, but there is a autoplay version of the, wait, hang on. Let me save that. Um, Now, this is not what you're asking, I know, but I'm
That's
just wanted to show
fine.
you. If you press the I, well, let me turn that on, and you press the I key, say it says AI on the left over there.
Yeah.
I'm just hitting the button. So you press the I key and turn on AI mode, and you won't see much. It'll kick the ball up, but when I start a game, it's not going to pull the plunger back, but it will kick the ball out
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Yeah.
So it's doing that on its own currently, and it will actually play by itself. So let's try Twisted Circus, I guess. This one has a lot of really cool habit trail stuff on it. So if we just, so this is kind of, I guess why I'm showing you this is it's sort of the precursor to if you don't score enough points, you can set up a logic controller to like auto kick the ball back out. So I will definitely add that feature very soon. So
Sweet. Ooh, and then
yes,
you gotta add an action button to the lockdown bar. Like the new Stern games have the action button that you hit on the top that does certain features.
yeah,
Where your
yeah.
work's cut out for you. We're gonna be like, yeah, add this. It's great. It's what you've created is so great, and I think you're gonna get a lot of input from the community as you know this grows and more people find out about it, and it's gonna all come from just being passionate and wanting to take your game to the next level and create stuff with.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
another question we had was like to you, was this game geared more towards designing your own table, um, or is it like just a game, or is it more of a game like SimCity where you're just here to build and have fun? I guess you know what I mean. Like in your head when you designed this, was it the intention of like I as a custom game maker can use this to you know take it to maybe like a VP cabs virtual pinball table to
Yeah,
play in or real world, or is it more like I just want to make a fun game that's like roller coaster tycoon sort of
right.
feel?
It's sort of, I guess, really a combination of all those things in my mind.
Because you spend a lot of time on making the physics very accurate, so
Yeah, yeah. Well,
which
and
is really cool.
you can adjust the physics slightly too. You can change the ball weight
Ah,
in grams. So, according to the intrawebs, 81.5 grams is basically the standard weight of a ball from
yep.
what I was able to find. So you can change that if you want it to be super heavy. You could change it to
Yeah.
what you want. So there's that. Um, and of course, there's the rubber bounce factor. So if you click on one of these, you can make something that's super bouncy or not so bouncy or not bouncy at all, and it won't bounce whatsoever. So there's a lot of tweaking options and controls that you can do. But the main idea for me in this was to, one, I just wanted to see this become real and have the ability for myself to be able to say, okay, I have this idea based on maybe Gorgar or whatever that I'd like to do. And I've played so many pinball machines over the years where I thought, oh my God, why did they put that target right there? Or,
Right.
if only these were drop targets instead of stand-ups, that would be really cool. Or, you know, do firepower with the drop targets, I think that's the original intent there, but stuff like that. So that was part of why I wanted to be able to do that myself, but I just wanted to do it in this kind of context where I could literally just, in a 3D environment, just mosey around, look at the playfield from anywhere I wanted to, click on an object, and just absolutely just move it wherever I want and adjust it and change it and make it my own. But then as I started to mess around with that concept, you know, I think the game became it began to evolve more in a community type direction, much like Future Pinball and those you know, those applications, and having experience with those and knowing how tough scripting can be. Scripting, I think, is one of the toughest aspects of those for most people who try to make games with them. And a lot of the feedback I've gotten on PinBuilder is, oh my God, I love the way you can set up logic so easily, you know, and it's, you don't have to script it.
Wow.
And I think that's really important. You know, basically the way the game works is you can set a game up to where like drop targets will drop, slingshots will function, flippers all function. You don't need to put any logic in there at all, but you won't hear any sounds or get any scores or anything like that. So you need to at least set up a logic controller to do scores and sounds and stuff. But you can still test the layout of the game initially. So prototyping tables in this is super quick, you know, because you just slap stuff on. And especially when you have like the grid, let's see if, so all these logic controllers are really wonky, but if I turn on the grid, I can see that, and then I can hold the shift key down, and you don't have to have the grid on to snap stuff. You can snap without the grid, but it makes it just really easy to just organize
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can set that organization up, and so you could prototype stuff super quick, you know, and even with logic, you can prototype it pretty quickly.
Wow.
Because, you know, you pick a logic controller and you say, I want it to switch something on or off, or toggle it on or off. There's like sequential lighting. So some of these, let's see, the center one. So you can see it's so easy to set these up. I can get rid of those connectors from this logic controller by just clicking the trash can. And then to add target items or objects to this controller, I just hold down the shift key, and then I just left click on them like that. And so it's added them. And now when this logic controller is triggered, let's say I want this switch over here to trigger it, its name is center light. So if I say I want that one to control this, so when this switch gets rolled over by the ball, it sends a signal to this logic controller, which you can see now it has that line. And that logic controller then will sequentially illuminate each one of these. And as it does so, it can give this point value and play this sound effect, whatever it may be. Oops, I don't want that one. So whatever that, you know, to play that sound, every time you roll over that, it'll go bow, and it'll light sequentially these. And when it gets to the end of them, you can have it score like 5,000 points and play a different sound effect, you know, whatever. Annihilated. You know, and stuff like that. And so it's that easy. And then attract mode is partially based on that configuration. However you have your logic controller set up, it'll light these up sequentially and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy, I think, to, once you get an idea of how the logic controller functions, it's pretty straightforward. Drop targets are another easy thing. Let's see. So for drop targets, you can see there's, if you look at it from the top, you can see each of these drop targets has one line going towards the controller.
Oh, I see.
And then from the controller, there's one line going to the target. And the way that works is if we clear these, now you can see these are all just pointing at the controller. And basically what that means is that when we select one of these, it's just referencing this controller. So as this switch is dropped by the ball, it's going to send out a pulse signal to that controller to do whatever that controller is designed to do. And so in this case, if we select it, you can see it's set to drop target bank. And then the way you set that up to know which drop targets to check. So essentially these trigger the logic controller to check the bank to see if it's completely down, and to score points for each drop target. So currently as it stands, you would have to hold down the shift button and then click each one of these. Okay. And it adds it to the controller's target list. And then what that does is when a target goes down, you get 50 points. When the whole bank is down, you get 200 points. You can have a sound effect for the targets dropping and the completion. And then if you want it to reset the bank after you drop them all, you can select reset on completion or not. And it will reset after the ball goes down, of course. So that's how that works. And then that's actually got another target. So you can see there's another line coming out. And so when you drop this one, when this bank of targets drops, this will fire off a signal to this other controller, and it will do whatever else. So you can pick another controller right here. So this is the list of controllers that are available. And then it'll just pulse a signal out to that. And so when you drop that target bank, what this does is it lights these in lanes here. So that's basically the way that works. So you can then daisy chain stuff. One of the caveats to that is you have to be very careful not to daisy chain in a loop, or you'll crash the game. So something to keep in mind.
Oh, kind of like you might blow up the pinball machine in real life.
Yeah,
Crash
exactly.
The game.
I am planning to add a check for that. Currently, there is one for this. So if I go DT right, it'll tell me you can't reference itself, or or you'd have an infinite loop there that would basically break the game. It wouldn't break it; it would just freeze because
I want to see the game like catch on fire and start smoking to start over.
I do have effects for smoke coming out of the flippers, but it's not currently activated. So
the magic smoke. Very cool. I'm not sure if we covered this before, but is this wow, that's really cool. If I make a game, one of these tables as a user, then yeah, we talked about like sharing it into a database. Like is there an active database right now that I can submit my design to, and then anyone can see it?
Yeah, let me show you. I'll show you how easy that is. Okay, let's say you've made a table and you've got it to a point where you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna do that. I do want to show you this because I love the way this works. So just stretchiness is cool. So let's say you have that, you save it, and you want to share it on for the world. So all you got to do is click this Steam Workshop button, and you can say, this is my groovy game, or whatever,
Sure.
or whatever you want to put, and then click submit. And basically what it's doing is it's uploading it to the Steam Workshop currently, and it will tell you all that, and then it should disappear. And now let's see, if I go to Steam and I go to the workshop and sort, where's the sort? Most popular, here we go, sort by most recent. I don't see it. I think it actually may take a moment, because I think that Steam I think Steam actually checks content prior to it going live on the
Oh,
workshop. I
sure.
think there's
Yeah, like
something to
make sure
do.
there's no like profanity or something
Yeah,
bad in it.
or porn or anything weird like that. Yeah,
Right, right, yeah.
yeah.
No,
Um,
good stuff.
this this dude Max is, I guess he's just having a blast with the game because he's got a lot of stuff uploaded. But you can see, so here's what it looks like. Basically, you
Oh
have
yeah.
the
Um,
whatever wherever you are when you save the game, that's what this image is. So that'll be the default, and then it doesn't look like he's put in a description really, but
I think that
um,
the screen went blank for the extra pop-up Steam screen, but I think if you go into the Zoom meeting and then hit that share screen button,
oh,
you
all
might be
right,
able to say like share an entire screen versus just the PinBuilder window.
okay.
I didn't notice that before. I was like, oh no, we want to see if we can.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
so you
cool.
couldn't see this? Oh,
Now,
goodness. Okay.
yeah, now we see it great. This is nice. Sorry about
All
that.
right,
I
cool.
was like, wait a minute. Okay.
So yeah, if you go into the Steam app
Hmm.
and then go to the Pin Builder store, this is what that looks like. So you can see the updates, things like that. And if you click on an update, there's all that good stuff and new features that were added, improvements and bug fixes and things like that.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's all in there. And then when you want to check out your workshop stuff, you just click this workshop icon
Hmm.
and you can click most popular and then most recent. That's strange. I wonder why that's not popping up.
They were like, we don't want this game.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a fun pinball machine to play. Denied.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll pop up there any minute now. But as you can see, a lot of stuff has been coming up there. Boy, Max is
Wow.
really on a bender. I don't know. Wow, he's just
That's
got
I
lots of.
could just spend all weekend just exploring everyone else's user created games. This is also a great thing for if someone wants to jump on and just start streaming Pin Builder
Yeah,
too, just oh, we're gonna play this table today. We're gonna play this table. Oh, that's awesome.
that's
That
cool.
looks
That's a black hole
pretty.
that he's working on there.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, he was super excited about the playfield, the lower
The lower
playfield.
playfield. Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another game I didn't get to, but I restored one of those also.
Nice.
A black hole. Yeah, very fun restoration. Not the greatest game. That's a crazy wonky
You
game.
never forget about it, like the sound like bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right. Yeah.
sticks in your head forever.
It does. It does. It's such a cool game.
It is.
I
That's
had to do there's a ground mod that you have to do on that to make sure that because if you don't do this grounding mod, it just can go crazy all the time. It's a
mm.
weird game, but yeah. So,
I bet.
anyways,
Yeah,
it's
for sure. Awesome.
that's weird. I don't know. That'll pop up. Anyways, but yeah.
Give it some time. Very cool. This is so awesome. Let's go back. I think it would be cool to just start. I mean, we're kind of at a table right here and just kind of build a game together. And
All right.
if y'all in the chat want to participate and throw out some suggestions of what we should do, let's yeah, do a little quick Marco game build.
Cool.
So
All right.
when you're building a game, what do you recommend? Starting with the flippers first, or how would you start
Yeah.
building?
Yeah, what I usually do is I'll add a couple of flippers. So they sort of have a default spot, which is kind of an average of where flippers tend to appear. So I'll just add a couple of flippers. You can, if you want to do just a super straightforward basic game, you can add a top rail really easily like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
And
nice.
Yeah. So now there's a rail that gives us something to, you know, we can stretch this up. And in order to keep the ball from going down here, which can be annoying, we have a gate. Where is the gate? There. So actually, let's use a couple of these. So there's this type of gate, which can be put up here.
Nice.
So I'll just put one of these here. And then we can plop another one and flip it around for the reverse type. And why is that not reversing? That's the one. Okay. So we can put that one there. And let's see. I'll turn on the grid to make this a little bit easier. And if we grab one of these guys, we can change the colors on this if we want to change it to something different. We'll just go, well, let's go, I don't know.
Nice.
I guess that'll work. You can change the rubber color too if you like.
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do, yeah, I like that color, or let's go like neon green.
For the rubber?
Yeah. And then maybe actually make the plastic a hot pink. Those are my
All right.
those are my two.
Like that?
Yeah, and then yep, and then the plastic hot pink. Oh, this is my dream game right here.
All right.
Nice. Oh yeah. So y'all know it's not. I picked neon. Let's go. Can we go with a different, not neon green? Let's go neon blue because I actually have like a filter hacks on here for the green screen for us. So it's like
Oh,
removing some
yeah.
of the green off the game. I was like, wait a minute, it's transparent. That's my bad, y'all.
Oh, that's too
I
funny.
can see through it. Yeah.
All right, so
Sweet.
this I'm gonna hold shift
Nice.
down and just snap it. And to make sure I have enough space for the ball, I'm gonna grab one of these multi-ball spawners and I'm just gonna put it right here to make sure there's enough room for this. That looks good. So we can see that if the ball rolls up through here, it'll have enough space.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
So
yeah.
requests from the chat. We had Italian bottom, an upper playfield, like maybe Simpsons Pinball Party or Foo Fighters. We can do upper
All right.
playfields, right?
Yeah, we could
Yeah, I
do
saw that
that.
in your update. Yeah, and
Would you?
yeah, maybe. What if? Where is the upper playfield? And I guess in Simpsons Pinball Party, yeah, it is in the top left, like Foo Fighters.
Okay.
All the
Yeah,
spinners,
I'm
yeah.
not too familiar with that particular one, so
50 spinners. What about like a center upper playfield? Like, not center, but all the way in the back. Just, are you familiar with with hard body? Or I guess like Black Knight 2000, or
oh yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like you come up to and you have like just a whole deck. Maybe that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
All right. So let's just get rid of all this then. We'll keep that, and we don't need any of those. So for that, let's go upper playfield. And we'll just do this like so.
Cool.
We'll just leave it like that. And one of the cool things we can do is with this, we can click on these little guys here and add those to the these little color palettes. So if we want to spawn stuff onto that level, we can go to upper, and then when I spawn one of those and I hit the C key now, it'll apply those colors to it.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, and then the X key will straighten stuff up if you want.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then, of course, you can't grab anything below that level.
Right, because you're toggled on
Um,
the upper playfield.
yeah.
Sweet. So would you build a ramp from the upper playfield going down, or would you be on the lower playfield level and then put the ramp on there going up? Does it matter?
Let's see. Well, we can do it any number of ways. Let's just put this up there. So we could go with, and maybe the chat can tell us what they like. We can go with one of these guys.
Oh, yeah.
So that could go over there.
Nice. Yeah, okay. Shooter lane straight into the upper playfield. I like it.
Yeah. So that can go there, like something like that. Or we could do that. Or we could do one of these guys. Oops. Let's go up. Oops, no grid. Upper. And now we'll add that and we'll select the simple scoop.
Oh.
And so this one can be placed right here,
Whoa.
about like that. So when we shoot it up there, it'll,
Cool. I can dig it.
yeah. And then it'll pop up there, and it looks like we may need.
You guys gonna pop up there and fall back down into the shooter lane.
Yeah. Let's bring
Oh,
this
cool. You're
down.
changing. Nice. I like how the wood grain changes as you do that too. Trippy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, we'll get rid of that. By the way, there are some modes up here, so you can select an object just by clicking on it, and that's the best if you don't want to accidentally move something around. Because sometimes if you click on an object, it can sort of move just because the mouse moves it a little bit.
Sure.
And you can pick these also with the Q, W, E, and R keys. So you can use the keyboard. I try to use as many key commands as possible. Just makes it faster
Absolutely.
for me. So let's see what we could do here is I actually want to, let's select this guy and see
Nice.
if I
That's funny. Dancing in the chat said, "Chat wants to pick the theme." All right, y'all. What is the theme of this game we're building? Right. Okay, so you're adding a side so it doesn't fall off.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
nice.
just
A
like
little
a
wire ball.
guide rail.
Yeah, a little guide rail.
Now
Nice.
these you can grab and move and rotate, but they don't scale. You don't need to scale them with this scaling because if you're in move mode and you hold down the Alt key, you can grab the ends of them and stretch them like
Oh,
wherever you want. Yeah.
nice.
And you can still rotate them even after you've stretched them around. And that guide right there shows you the center point. I've noticed though that, well, nothing, never mind.
Oh, like
Um,
yeah, you can't take it from the upper playfield to the lower playfield.
well, you can do this and then you can go down here into the lower left where it
Mm-hmm.
says the Z axis. And I'm going to use Control X because I want to put it back. But if you put 0 there and hit enter, it'll drop it
Oh,
down.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow,
So now if I can just grab it,
amazing.
I can't grab it again. That's
Oh,
odd.
because you're still on the upper, right?
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
good eye, good eye.
I'm learning
I
how
was
to
just
play.
testing you.
I can't wait for this weekend.
I was testing you to make sure
I
you're.
know, right? I passed.
See where it says object center there?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's so if I'm holding Alt and just moving the ends of it, but if I grab it, you can see that guide shoot, I don't know what to call it, but that guide on the playfield shows you. Boy, that's weird. I think motion blur is causing that.
Mm,
That shows you where the center of it is, because if you try to rotate it, it's going to rotate around that.
gotcha.
But if you then grab the thing and you center it over that, then when you go to rotate it, it rotates, differently or whatever. So yeah, so we can put that back up here by just doing this, and it'll go up there. And then we can go to upper and move it back. I have a thought for, I'm just gonna put this here.
Nice.
And I'm thinking maybe to get the ball to bounce towards this direction, what we could do is put a little slingshot right there.
Yeah.
So this we can basically set up however we want to. So I'll put that post in the middle and something along these lines. I think that should work. I'm gonna grab that and put it over a little, so it doesn't just bounce off of this. It'll kind of roll and boing. So, we need a little bit of solenoid power on that. Let's go 6.
Add the power.
All right, so what do you think next then? So the ball come up and bounce off. We can test this now.
Yeah,
just
let's
for
throw it in a test, see if the ball flies off.
It'll stay in there because the
oh yeah, okay. The
back
cabinet.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see, Wick.
That's
pretty fun.
interesting. Yeah, I think it just bounced right off the
So we got in the chat the Misfits theme or a tank theme would be cool.
Yeah.
Honor and Blood is a great song. Is that a Misfits song? Or alright, what kind of mechs do y'all want to see that kind of go with that theme? It would be cool. Let's see. We're up at the top. Add some. How about upper playfield flippers? Could we do that?
Yeah.
Like maybe, yeah, somewhere on the left, like when the ball comes and hits the sling. Maybe there's a left upper playfield flipper. Do you have different flipper sizes? Like, could you go
there's
like 2 inches or lightning flippers?
Yeah, so we've got short rounded ones like that, like the
Cool.
old school Bally ones.
Oh, that's awesome. The
can do
detail is amazing.
Illuminated ones. We have standard transparent type. Let's see, short lit ones.
Nice.
The banana flipper from like Flash or whatever.
Yeah.
Standard, more of a kind of a skinny, more modern style, or almost Williams style, I guess.
Yeah, is that sort of like a lightning flipper, yeah?
Is that what those are?
Yeah, the lightning flippers are like the skinnier Williams ones.
Okay, yeah, that would be that one.
Nice.
But we'd probably want to use the minis, which are kind of more like that too, but they're smaller. So if we wanted to do little flippers up there, we may need to pull this back.
Y'all.
Let's pull this back down here.
The playfield needs to be bigger at the top.
Yeah.
We got a request for in-lane drop targets somewhere in the game.
Oh yeah, all right.
Those are always fun.
All right, let's just pull this down. We could kind of leave that at an angle.
Yeah, angle is cool. Digging it.
Yeah. I like to save often just in case. There is an undo, by the way. So let's say you put something there and you rotate it and then you move it and you move it and you move it. Well, we can undo all that with Control Z.
Ooh, nice. How far back does it go?
It goes quite a long ways. Let's see.
And is there a redo button in case I went too far back?
I think so. I'm not sure if that was working well or not. Let's see. Okay, undo. Yeah, redo, but it's kind of wonky. I think redo needs work. But yeah, let's see. I'm just going to keep doing this for a second here and we'll see how many. I think there's like 80 or 100 levels of undo.
That's plenty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean,
Nice.
all
Oh
right.
yeah, look at that. Oh, you can make your own like stop animation.
Whoops, I undid that too. Now, let's say you get it to a point and you're like, oh shit, what'd I do? I screwed it
Yeah.
up. Well, as long as you save it regularly where you want it, then you can just continue without saving and go
Mm,
to play mode. And you can see that it's back where it was. And that's like a major undo kind of. So that
gotcha.
way you can get it back to like where you really want it. Let's get that out from under there. Actually, I'll just delete that one. So let's see.
I know,
Oh,
so
yeah,
the ball shoots
inline
off.
targets and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, we should put
so
some drops up there.
yeah, for sure. All right, whoops. Let's delete that because I didn't have this selected. All right,
Four pops from the scoop from the upper playfield. What?
so like right here.
Pop bumpers there? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know
pop
if that
bumpers.
works.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's work on the drop tag. Yeah. Okay.
Put it
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Let's see what.
Here, let's
Maybe
just put it
someone.
there. Could put that here instead, but
Oh yeah, maybe. Or like yeah, just put it maybe next to it so if the ball yeah, down there makes it
yeah,
even more wild if the ball comes that way. I don't know.
yeah, that could
I,
be cool.
maybe it goes into helping hitting those drop targets.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I
There's
like
three
that.
variations of those too,
Nice.
by the way.
Very cool.
And then there's
Oh,
these pop
new scoop to
toppers.
lower playfield. I see. But oh yeah, let's do
Oh, I
that.
see.
No, yeah, I like where you're
This
going
one?
with this. Yeah, yeah. Put two of them together. Oh, I was gonna say put two pop bumpers right there together. I'm gonna help make the most ridiculous table ever. It's like who made
So
this?
if you color and design something and then you want to duplicate that, you just press Alt and D and it duplicates it for you.
Nice.
Yeah. So like that. Heck, we
Yeah.
could even put two more over here like
Yeah, let's do it. Nice. Chaos. And then a bunch of drop targets.
All right. So drop targets, let's see. We will also, let me show you that if I'm facing this way, you'll see that the drop target's facing the
Ooh,
same as the
nice.
camera angle. So you
Sure.
could just rotate around if you wanted. But if you press the X key, it'll straighten them up again. So you can do
Oh,
that.
very cool.
And then you can line these up by hand, or you can use the snap function and line them up to
Nice.
snap them to grid. So we can just do them like that. Also, another thing that's doable is you can click this icon down here multiple times. So I'm gonna create 5 more of these, but you'll only see one show up. But there are actually 5 overlaid on top of each other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now they're all 5 right here.
Nice.
Yeah. And that just makes it kind of easy to just really slap them on there. And they don't have to go in any particular order. You can just put them wherever you want. Now, another thing that is really helpful is, let me actually delete all these because I want to show you something that makes this process so much easier. So if you have one target and what color do you want it?
Oh, the let's go with the hot pink again.
All right.
That's my jam.
I love that color too. All right, so we got hot pink target. We can select different textures. So the Kaiju Battle one's kind of cool. Oh wait, no, that's not the one I was thinking of. I forgot that this is showing all textures now. Let's see, wait, where? Oh, no,
Ooh,
I guess that was
nice.
there. Yeah, I had a target one.
Ooh, yeah, Dantic, we'll put some kicking targets in there on the lower playfield.
All right. Um, So I want to make a group of targets that I can move as a unit. So in order to do that, I'm going to just add a group name here at the top. And I'm going to call this DT Bank Top, I guess. And now when I duplicate that, it's going to duplicate it just like you see. And then if I snap them together and grab them, I can move them individually. But if I hold down the control key, I can move them and rotate them as a group. So now it's really easy to move them as a unit instead of, one at a time. But you got to remember to hold down the control key.
Gotcha.
So
Oh,
let's just,
yeah. Okay.
so I'm
Um,
gonna do
Zealet,
that.
I got your link. The you said, well, hold on. Putting like basically like the a sling behind the drop targets, like the drop target bank. Uh, Zealet said 3D scoops in the drop target. But the picture I got is like, where you have the posts and the rubber behind the drops.
Yeah, like,
Maybe it's like yeah, or it could be a sling behind the, yeah, like that. And then maybe there's like a kicker or sling action. So if you hit the drops down and then hit the sling, it would fling
it
the
would
ball
fire
off,
it straight
basically.
down.
That might be
Yeah,
interesting.
we could put it like something
Yeah.
like,
Let's see what happens.
all right. So with these posts, let's say we want to translate these colors to these posts and stuff too.
Yeah.
We'll just click that and assign them to these palettes. And then when I click on that, I can hit C and it makes those the same way.
Yeah. Wow, that
Yeah.
makes this so simple.
Yeah. And now if I want to add that to this group, I can just go up here and select that or type it in. And then I can paste it in there. Excuse me.
Very cool.
And um, now when I hold down the control key, I can move this whole thing as one unit. So that way we can adjust it easier later,
Nice.
Yeah. So in order to, I don't know if we want that. In order to make these actually function, well, let's see, wait a second. Let me add a couple more things so we can do some testing. We'll
Yeah,
just
cool.
leave that there. We'll add that. We'll put this here.
Nice.
Just duplicate that one, which is small now, but we'll put that here just to have something there, and duplicate that again. And
Screwed.
we'll just stick that like so. We probably don't want that to drop back down into
Oh
there.
yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
maybe.
just, we can use one of these guys. Now these are
Oh,
kind of handy because they're just a gate with the thing, but you can do a one wide small one, or
nice.
two, which is the default, or a super wide one.
Whoa.
Yeah, that one actually was inspired by Fathom for the unfathomable table. So let's see. Let's just try this
Very
one.
cool.
And there's not really anything to attach it to over there, but we can make that look like it's attached there. And
Nice.
yeah, we could also purpose one of these little guys and maybe right there. So if we rotate this slightly, it's really not the right post, but we have one that would work nicely, which is this hard rubber one.
Oh yeah,
So,
okay. Perfect.
and we can even make that like the same.
Yay.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Gamera, yeah, you can change the art on the drop targets. You could load in your own art files. Um, we could put little tanks on them, but we'd have to go download that file. There's also like a whole library that you can choose from in there, and then I believe, Anna, what you were saying was any of the like user created submitted ones to the workshop, like then if we download those games, those tables onto our PinBuilder, then we get access to that library of
Yeah,
assets too.
yeah. Yeah,
That's
so you
awesome.
can select one of those and then any art that appears in there would be there.
That is
Yeah,
so
this
cool.
is only showing the PL files though, which isn't what I want, so that needs to be modified. Also, I should point out too that let's say you just want Alien Meadow art, you can pick the word you want and just type it in here. So if I type Alien Meadow in there and then click this, it's only going to show
Oh,
anything.
nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of helpful. And I just deleted something I didn't want to, which is not good, but whatever.
Put a
So
Dr. Plotnik on top of the pops? Who's Dr. Plotnik? I don't know.
I don't
My
know.
my my mainstream knowledge is
Let's check this out and see what it does.
it is so exciting. Look how beautiful it is.
So now the kickers are we haven't set those up to be very powerful yet. So all this stuff is just kind of weakly doing its thing.
Need more power.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I guess we have to find a way to get off the upper playfield without draining. Or I guess if you just drain, you I have a feeling our gap is so small that you're just gonna live on the upper playfield forever.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
That's
a
kind of cool. It's wonky.
like could you put a scoop behind the drop target so like you reveal the scoop behind the
Oh
drop target and
yeah.
that sends you back down?
Yeah, yeah. That would be a really good use for inline drop targets.
Oh yeah, that's
But
true.
there's not a whole lot of space for them. Hmm.
Um,
But we could
so
do that.
you could maybe in like the upper top do like a ball guide that curves it to the left into inlane drops that are horizontal on the playfield. So where
Oh
these
yeah, yeah,
ones are
yeah.
shooting straight out, the other ones would be faced the other way. So like you would have to hit it with the right flipper to get into that kind of channel of inlane drops
Yeah.
over to the left,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
and then that's
So
the door to get to the bottom.
yeah. So we could do something like this and have let's see, let's move that over out of the way. We'll just leave that there. And we could you thinking like something like that where
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that could work too, actually. Yeah. And then you'd hit it. Well, then, yeah. Where are you thinking the inlane
well
would
what we
go?
could oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
So it's almost like reverse that, or like if you took that curve and rotated it 45 degrees to the right, so then and then the inlane drops are at the very top left of the playfield, facing towards the right. So it like curves it
Yeah.
towards that area, like a little just channel to get to.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right.
Yeah.
So basically this would go up here. Something like that.
Mhm.
We'll just leave that like that for now. That's kind of wonky. You can, whoops, that's not, you can rotate these slightly, but all right, I'll fix that in a second. First, let's just duplicate one of these guys.
Sweet.
And I'm gonna put L for left on this one. That way, when I group move it, it won't move with those. And we can just leave that facing that way. Let's stick one of these here. Oh.
Our upper playfield.
No. All right, we'll just put this here. And oh yeah, we want these to rotate this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough. All right. Yeah, actually, let's see. Wait a second.
So the scoop would
Oh,
go
I know how.
behind that one, right? That would lead to the bottom.
Yeah, so we'll put that there. Let's hold off on that. Let's grab the hole. And that should be making a hole there. Why is that not making a hole? All right, I'm just going to put this here. This should carve a hole at some point. Why is it not?
Oh yeah, I remember, and we hear the drilling sound.
Yeah, that's strange. I should be cutting a hole in this top playfield. Like that one is working, but for some reason this one is not. Oh, that could be why. Let's see. Let me try this and see if I... Yeah, that's strange.
Oh no,
It looks like...
we got a hole earlier.
Yeah, it looks like we have a bug. Well, that was working here, so... Oops, God dang it. Okay, so yeah, for some reason my upper playfield hole cutter isn't working. I'm just gonna try something here and see if it's something to do with... All right, yeah, it's just not working. That's strange. All right, well, we'll keep it simple and we'll just go with the scoop because the scoops are working, so.
For sure.
Yeah, that's really strange. That's embarrassing.
No worries. We have this stream and you can go back and look at all of our requests and take notes. We threw a lot at you tonight.
Yeah. This is fun though.
Yeah, this
See,
is
I love this process because it helps me figure out like what's really needing attention and what's not working quite right, and is there something that isn't functioning as it should or whatever. All right, so let's just put this here. And I have an idea for how see, once the target gets hit, we need to deal with that. So the best way to do that is actually to use one of these guys set to really wide. And this way, what will happen is that the ball will... That's probably too wide.
Makes that shot pretty narrow.
Yeah. So put that there. We'll just keep these kind of close. And I'm going to save. And we'll just put these like this.
Nice.
Let's see. What do you think? 3?
Yeah,
Probably
I think 3 is good.
All right. And I don't know. How wide was that? That is really wide. Yeah, that's too wide. I almost need a smaller width doodad. All right, so let's put on here, we can pull this down and make that hole bigger. And we'll put posts. Let's get that out of there.
Nice. Wonderful. Look at that.
We'll just put that one over there and let's see. We'll put this guy over here. I'll just put it like that for now.
Perfect.
We can stash that there. All right. Let's see. I want to give these a little bit more power. So I'm going to set them for, let's say 7.
Nice.
And these guys also, let's go 5 on them. And this one as well is at 6. Actually, let's drop it to 4. And we can now, let's save that and go to our main level. And we'll add a ramp.
Nice.
And we can put that there.
Yeah. I love this game.
Cool. Me too.
The weirdest pinball machine ever made.
Now, if we want this to be angled a little bit more so that we can get it that direction, we can add a little rest angle so that adjusts this, where the flipper will rest at.
Yeah.
So we can make it a little bit deeper like that. And we can change the max angle so we can really flip it back this direction too if we want. And then this one, let's change that max up a little bit so we can get it there. And I'm thinking this may need to go a little bit differently. And I'm just gonna put a regular post up here. And we'll put that right there. And we'll move this over slightly. Something like that. All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's never been done before.
Let's duplicate a couple more of these.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. So we get a few more of those going.
Hey, CNK, thanks for joining us. Yeah, all of these virtual parts are Marco bought in the Marco virtual store. And if we zoom out in the shop, you can see the Marco boxes that they came in.
Yeah, there they are.
So you're right, they are all Marco parts. Very cool.
Also, if you want to check out what revision or update the game is, you can see it right here on the screen.
Oh, cool.
And you can also click on this enter key.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, is that going to show up? Where is it? There. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right, so that brings up the news page, so you can see what the updates are and stuff like that.
Awesome. Thanks for the raid, Game Club Central. I was like, oh look, everybody's walking in. Very cool.
Hey.
Yeah, we are checking out PinBuilder. We have Annah Moore here. She is the creator of this amazing game, and now we can all create the pinball machines our minds have always wanted to build.
Yeah.
As you can see, this is my creation. This is our collaborative creation. If y'all want to add into the chat what you'd like to see on this game, we're just kind of going crazy right now. Yeah, it's super cool. This game is on Steam. Actually, since y'all just got here, I'm going to drop in the links to where you can get it and follow along.
I'm just going to add a couple of things here. I'll just throwing some stuff down to make it semi-playable here while we're testing. We can just run those all the way across for now.
Yeah.
All right.
Surfer MK, once the design is done, you'll be able to export it as a large JPEG that you could then take and put it on a whitewood to cut out inserts and stuff like that. But currently there's no DFX export, but maybe
Yeah.
in the future.
All right, so I'm gonna not export, but I'm gonna go to play mode and test this out. I'm just gonna let the AI play it so we can see how this looks. All right, so now I'm gonna let the ball drain. Okay, and I'm gonna shoot it up there, and I'm gonna try it myself and see if I can't get it into those targets up there. So this is me playing it now. This is not gonna be easy.
The pop-uppers, like chaos. Oh, you almost got one.
Oh, got one. 2.
Oh, nice. Nice. You can do this.
3.
Come on, Anna.
Ah,
Get it. That's
yay!
Yeah, it
Woohoo!
works.
Why is it
Wait,
stuck? Where is it?
we got a stucky. Oh no. Ooh.
Oh no, that's why.
Oh my
All
god.
right, that's
That
interesting.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Guess we didn't think about that one.
Yeah, all right. So I have a solution for that though. I know what we can do. Oh no.
I was like,
Hmm.
could we build like a subway? Or
I know
maybe
what
we
we
just
can
have to
do.
have the end lines further away. That's hilarious. It got stuck on the drop targets underneath.
That is funny. All right, I don't
Awesome.
think we need this. Here's what I have in mind. What we can do is we can, let's see. Yeah, okay, I got an idea. Let's try this. Tell me what you think of this. I'll just move this over here. And this right there. I think that may be enough. And what we'll do is, I want to get rid of that wire there. Let's go to main and then, let's see. Let's try one of these guys. And we have a ramp up, open top. No, not actually. Actually, something like that might work. So what we could do is, well, there's a number of ways we could do this. We could do it with one of these guys. We could do one of these up ones, a small up like this. So basically, oops, I thought I was rotating. So basically we can put this back here like so. And then we could set the height here to drop it down lower. So it'd be like minus 40. No, that's too far.
I like where you're going.
So it could just drop in there. And since
Yeah.
our other holes aren't working, that is so frustrating because
We had the holes earlier.
yeah, it's really strange. See, they are working here.
Oh
So
yeah, look at that.
so this is what I want up there, but for some odd reason, oops, not minus 40. I want it up on the top. And some reason it's not, yeah, for some reason it's not cutting into that playfield there, which is rather strange. I must have been working on that and disabled part of it for some reason, or this actually might, you know what, this might be an older copy. Let me double check and see. Wait, where am I here? 426. No, that's the most recent one. That's very strange. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Freaking pinball.
Yeah, what the hell? All right, so let's just let's just leave it like that for now, I guess. And we
Yeah, so
can,
really baked pinball asked in the chat, and we did cover this earlier, and this is a great thing to cover again. Is they were asking if you have the Steam Workshop support, and
yes.
they do, and you can play tons of different games that users have already started to create. And I imagine that library is going to get huge as this game continues to thrive. Yeah, because they were like, I would totally buy this if I don't have to make stuff, but I can just play other people's made stuff. But yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
be in that boat too.
for sure. So real quick on that topic, let me just talk about that for a second.
Yeah,
First of all, do you see this number right up here, 3156, blah, blah, blah?
right.
So that is actually the Steam Workshop ID for this table. So once you upload it to the Steam Workshop, you will see that number appear because, and that's how you know that it actually got uploaded to the site, aside from it saying that it did. So speaking of that, let's just, there's this icon right up here at the top that's the Steam Workshop upload button. It's not it's disabled currently because I have unsaved changes. So when I save changes, I can then click on it. And this is testing again. And then we hit submit and give it a few seconds. And it'll tell you submitting from update, which means that it's submitting it to Steam and it's uploading all the files and any files relative to this particular game. So the graphics, sounds, any of that that are in use by this particular table are then uploaded to Steam, to the workshop. And if we go to Steam, let's see, browsing items, sort by most recent. If we refresh, it's not going to show up for some odd reason. And let's see. I wonder, is there... There is a way to view your own, and I can't remember how that is. Let's see, most recent, it should show up right here.
What's been the craziest table you've seen so far created by users in the workshop?
I kind of like this one by Max, this Cubert's Quest.
Ooh. Can we click it and see it without like
Yeah,
well our table's saved, so
yeah, ours is saved, and if
our
we
beautiful design.
all you got to do is click on subscribe right there,
Okay.
and then when you go back into the game, you can hit refresh subscriptions, and it should pop up. There it is. So here it is now, and then you just click on it, and it'll load it up. And well, that's strange.
Maybe does it
I wonder.
when you save it to the workshop, is it like saving your active build or whatever state it is and then like if I go and update we uploaded that build
There it
for the
is.
Marco table and then if I do more work on it, do I need to re-upload it or will
Yeah.
it won't auto update the workshop one?
Right. So yeah. So when you press Control S to save locally, that just saves it on your machine. So it's not going to automatically update the one in the workshop. That way you can do testing and stuff like that locally and maybe build up the game further without having to worry about like, oh gosh, I screwed something up and it's already uploaded to the workshop. You can do your own testing and stuff locally on it. And then when you're sure it's ready, then you can hit that upload, that Steam Workshop button right there.
And does it replace the older version or do I now have like several versions in the workshop?
No, it will update the current version. It
Cool.
depends on the name of the table.
Oh,
So
right, because it's connected to that code at the top, right? You were talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So
Gotcha.
yeah, there's that. And that code only shows for your own tables that you upload. It won't show that code for any that you download. Like the Cubert's Quest one there,
I
you can
gotcha.
see it's not showing it because I haven't uploaded it myself.
Right.
Um, but Max, who created that, would see that on his copy. Also, yeah, so if I notice something like I kind of have to wonder if he's using the wrong save feature because he's got a lot of stuff uploaded. Like here's one laser Q version updated. He doesn't.
Uh,
I hope he's watching because
Come on,
you
Max.
don't need to do that. You just keep it saved as the same name. So if it's 84 Williams laser Q, you should just keep it all the same.
Gotcha.
So I would recommend to him to rename it to just that, and then upload that copy to the workshop and go back and delete this updated one and this other version of it that he's got here, which is before Flipper update. See, these should all be local to
Yeah.
him. Those should not be. And so what I can do is I could go in and change the visibility and hide that, if I'm like, okay, dude, you're just going nuts here. This is not
He
acceptable
wants
or
us to see
whatever.
his full process. Phase
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
phase two.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm not gonna hide it
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
it's
But
interesting to see what
no,
he's
sure,
doing.
when we start getting like thousands and thousands of tables in there and someone just has 100 of like V1, V2, V3 final version, final version, then we probably want to hide those.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, here, your files you've posted. Let's
Oh,
see if it
sweet.
shows up. Yeah, there it is, Marco demo. So,
Yay! So
so there it is.
y'all can play our game.
Yeah, for sure. Yay.
What about, yeah, and then I think we talked about this like future collaborations. You had mentioned like maybe like in real time two people are working on a table. It would be something like where I could take this save file and then bring it into my. Oh wait, no, I already know the answer to this. I can subscribe to this table and it brings it into my system and then I can just start editing it and then like I can finish this.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Sorry.
You
Like
could do well, so the idea that you were initially talking about was what I would love to do is basically it'd be like multiplayer, but it'd be more like multi-builder. So we would both have the same table open at the same time, and it'd be the same exact table, and we could both move parts on it at the same time. So it'd be like playing a multiplayer game where you could shoot each other, but instead of shooting each other, we'd just be manipulating the playfield, which might be just crazy. I don't know, but um, that was that
I think
thought
it's
that
awesome.
I was
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, so that was one thought. And the other thing that I do want to implement pretty soon, if I can, is integration of up to 4 players playing a table shared at the same time. So you
That's
could do,
awesome.
you know, regular tournament stuff like that or whatever. So let's just look at this. This is a very strange playfield design. It's pretty cool though. So this is one of those weirder ones you were asking about. So he's got some nice cabinet art. We can turn the glass on and off if we want to. And then I'm just going to put it on auto play and start a game. Why is it not starting? Oh, I know why.
Oh wow. Jake Danzig has a Qbert uh Qbert's Quest for sale if anyone's interested in a real life version of this.
Really?
That's a very very rare game. I don't know if I've ever seen it in person. Pacific Pinball Museum might have one, but
Wow.
now we can just go hang out with Danzig and play his game. So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
they have built it off of that, but that's amazing.
What the hell? For some reason, it doesn't want to start the game. No, man, there's a bug. That is so weird. Why won't you start? Let's
I wonder
see.
too if it's just the since we are running the screen sharing and stuff through Zoom, it's a very
That could
I'm sure that
be.
game takes a long time to load. It looks very intricate. Is what I'm getting at. Like, look at this. Oh yeah, it's starting to talk to us. Yeah, they have one at the Pinball Hall of Fame and it's turned off too. Oh yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Weird flippers.
Yeah. It doesn't play too well in AI mode. Let's see. Ah.
The robot strains.
The kicker needs an adjustment up there. It's kicking it too high. Yeah, that's going to infinitely loop up there. That's strange. So it just needs a little adjustment right here somewhere. This little guy. So now I could make changes to this table and then save it, but I would have to save it as a different name. Actually,
Right.
I could probably save it as the same name, but
Then it would just get confusing in the workshop.
yeah, yeah, and I wouldn't personally. I would not bother messing with anybody else's tables like that, but
Yeah.
or saving them. I would rather see what they do with them.
Absolutely.
But I like being able to see what others are doing. For example, like I like the way he did these drop targets here. So he's got the two different textures that kind of make two targets into one, you know? So it looks like one target, but it's actually these two. So that's a drop target and that's one too, but they have these different, yet the same texture, kind of, if that makes sense. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. And then I saw something else that he did. Now I don't remember what that was, but yeah, but the weird. Oh yeah, now I remember. So like these displays here in the apron, like I need to figure out a way to do that too.
Yeah. Wow.
And then cabinet work is over here, and in order to change the cabinet stuff, you just have your textures that you want, and you can pick them. So it's that simple.
So one of the things we went over earlier, y'all, is you can actually choose your cabinet size too. Like if you wanted a standard or a wide body or deep. My next question for you, Anna, is if I change it to a wide body and then go back to my playfield, is my playfield going to be stretched out to a wide body, or is it just going to? Oh, okay, look, it has extra.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so
cool.
it's
Cool,
it's
cool.
gonna look a little bit weird. And now I should be making a list of notes because
So this will be on YouTube later. You can rewatch it.
yeah.
Or throw it into, download it and throw it into like a transcriber, an AI transcriber, and then you'll just have all
Hey,
the notes.
that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the reason that the wood is not stretching out to match the surround is because just within the last few weeks, I've added the dynamic mesh that you can put holes into. And I know exactly, I can see the code in my head right now that I need to update to change the width of that. So I just need to update that. So that'll be easy. I'll remember that. I'll probably
It's
do
not
that
easy.
tonight or tomorrow.
That's like way over my head. But that is amazing that you find this. Yeah, you're a mad scientist, Anna. This is really amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, I should show you. Let's see. Where is it? So this is my actual project. So I'll show you some behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, very cool.
Quick, if you want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So this is Unreal Engine 5.2.1, and it shouldn't take but a second to get it open here.
Let's try and. Oh yeah, I think also too, sharing through Zoom, if you're screen sharing the entire screen versus a selected window, it uses up your processor a lot more. Um,
Oh, okay.
so I mean, it seems like it's loading, but if not, we could go back to just like sharing that one, the PinBuilder window instead of your entire screen.
All right. Well, it does have multiple
Ooh.
windows.
Oh yeah. Ooh, this looks
Yeah.
awesome. Whoa.
All right. So this is the workshop in the editor itself. So in here we can literally just go like wherever. This is again, except for a few items in here, I've literally created everything that you see. But we can grab stuff and move it around. So that whole unit is just the workshop as a whole, and then we can go in and edit that by itself. So this is just the workshop, and in here is where you can grab like this box and move it where you want. It's attached to other stuff, but I don't want to leave that like that. So oh, my cats are going crazy again. Right now, what I'm working on is back glass illumination. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to achieve, is being able to have illuminated textures on the back glass so that it actually looks like a regular back glass. And you can control things like shoot again and game over, high score, all that kind of stuff. So that would be one of the um, biggest components of the game itself is this chunk of code. So one of the really neat things about Unreal Engine is that it's all the code base is all based on C++, and you can code in C++ itself, which I've got a lot of C++ I've written and compiled inside the engine to use for stuff like FBX imports. I'm working on that. That you need to do with C++, um, and some other deep, like low-level manipulation of the game engine. You have to use C++. But what I love about Unreal Engine is that they utilize this technique of coding C++ visually, which I'm pretty much on the spectrum, the autistic spectrum. So visuals are really important for me.
For
And
sure.
so what is awesome is that so each one of these little nodes is basically like a function. And so it's a C++ function, but you don't have to look at the code itself. But this is what this can end up looking like. So this is just
Wow.
yeah, this is just part of this. So this is all code that does stuff in the thing, like this big purple section here. And I really need to start breaking this out into separate functions. So like at the top here, it's got like, this is an import user FBX thing I'm working on right now. So that's a separate function, and it's good to just call that code from a function, but some stuff you can't do that. So like this purple box that you see there is all the code that loads the table into the editor. Well, I should say it's most of it because I do have functions. So like here it cycles through all the different things, like if it's a master object. So like a slingshot has subcomponents to it, which are like the posts that you can move independently. And so there's all kinds of stuff, like what variant ID is it? How much is the power multiplier, the colors, all that. So that all gets saved into the save game. And I know that's a spaghettification of a great extent right there. It's pretty nuts.
That is so wow. And you're like, yeah, it's simple. I'm looking at that. It's like, it's beautiful. It's like organized chaos. Like just that screen.
Yeah.
Like that would be a cool T-shirt for PinBuilder, like a
Hey,
promo thing, and
yeah.
it's just that, like with all the color. It has my neon greens and pinks and blues in them. I like it.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
such a major cluster F, but it's so funny because I know exactly what's going on there.
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing.
Yeah. So like cabinet data is in its own function. So this loads all the info for the cabinet. Like there's each one of these is a field of information,
Uh,
and they're arrays. So I've structured it so that it's like a database table, and each one of those is a column of data, and so you can save quite a bit of information that way. But yeah, that's just the loading part, and then there's this save playfield part, which is pretty huge. So this is the biggest. Yeah, I
Holy
mean,
smokes.
yeah, yeah. So depending on what an object is and all that, this saves master objects here, and if they have subcomponents, that's this next section. And then these are just standard objects that get saved. And they have to be all split up like that, unfortunately, because it just the way it has to be done. And then there's like logic. Oh, this is more cabinet settings here for saving. So that saves all the cabinet data. And
Wow.
then, yeah. And then, there's a lot of stuff. Like this is the editor, the editing controller. So when you select an object, um, this is where that starts. So when you click on something, it starts right here, and then it just goes through the logic to see, okay, are you grabbing an object or is it a grabber? What are you doing with it? Are you going to rotate it? Is it a target or whatever? Some things have to be handled differently. So for all of those of you who wonder, gosh, why does the whole not work? Well,
Oh my god.
I guess need I say more? So anyways, that's
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 great.
what that's
No, thanks so much for showing us about. I had no idea. That is just, yeah, it's beautiful to look at, but
yeah, yeah.
it's very complex. The the
That is the
skeletal
world
system,
that
the
I
nervous
live in.
system. Very nice.
Sometimes I think of it like it's like Tron, like living in Tron, the video game
Yeah, absolutely.
or the movie.
For sure. Awesome. Well, Anna, it's getting late. We did not finish our table together,
Oh
but
yeah.
y'all, it is on the workshop now. So I will go in this weekend and do my version. If anyone else wants to
Yeah.
go in and do their version, then let's re-upload it and see if we can make
Yeah.
something fun with it. It'll be kind of a cool, yeah, collaborative effort. With that being said, we do have one free stream key, not stream key, but a download key to give for anyone that has Steam. And we're going to do a giveaway on that. So everyone that asked a question in the chat, I jotted down your screen name or name, and I'll put a little wheel. Everyone's saying thank you so much. I'm going to drop in again, just for you that have come in a little late, the link to where you can download PinBuilder on your own, because I know y'all want to play with this weekend.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. All right, let me
We
pull up my wheel of names.
While you're doing that, I do want to say that it is in early access, but once you buy the game, you own it forever. It will go into not, it will eventually not be in early access, and it'll be a full release. For those of you who weren't here earlier, I work on this 10 to 16 hours a day. I'm not kidding. I have no job right now except PinBuilder. I wake up, I make coffee, I play with my cats a few minutes, I come sit down, and I work on this all day and all night. And I love that. It's my passion. And so it's just me and my cats. And I do hope to make a living off of this someday. I'm getting closer to that, but your
Yeah.
support by buying the game, you're supporting me and this game in such a huge way. And I just want to say to everyone who already has the game and those who will buy it eventually, thank you so much for supporting it, because that really makes all the difference in the world to me, and it really means a lot to me, because that says that you care about what I'm doing, and that makes me feel very warm inside, and I really appreciate that so much. So thank you. Thank you for your support and being here tonight too. And thank you, Imoto, for this. This has been awesome.
Yeah, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
We could seriously go on for like hours and hours, but we're not gonna do that. But Anna did get a Twitch account, and she will be streaming some
Yes.
more too. And then maybe we can jump on and do another collab session, especially when you start getting in more updates and you want to show them off. Like, hit me
Yeah.
up and let's jump back on and do another stream together because this was really cool.
For sure. This was great fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, Danzig's quick question. Can I build this on an iPad? I don't think you can get Steam on iPad. It's
Yeah, I don't
Steam
know.
is all, believe, Windows based.
I think so.
So maybe not
I'm not sure.
Jake.
No, it's currently Windows only. I may do a Linux build of it at some
Ooh,
point.
nice.
I do not have a Linux machine, nor do I have an Apple or a Mac, so I can't do any testing. But that's a whole different world,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately.
Let's just
And
get a Windows PC, Danzig, and
yeah,
you'll be fine. That's why I used to be a heavy Mac user for the longest time because of my careers in video production. But I was depriving myself of PC gaming, which I loved so much, and not having the ability to have Steam. So I've switched over to Windows so I can enjoy all the Steam games I want. So
yeah,
when I heard about PinBuilder, I was so excited. And
yay!
just seeing it tonight is like it's gone beyond all of my hopes and expectations for what this game is already and what it's going to be. And I love your passion, Anna. So keep up the great
Thanks.
work, and it's awesome. And any way we can help and support, just let us know because we want to see you
All right.
succeed.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thanks. Real quick note too, you can use an Xbox or other controller with it too, and flippers, and you get force feedback in this, so you can feel the bumpers and the all that stuff, and
What?
use this for the plunger and stuff. Just wanted to throw that in.
That is awesome. Very, very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
All right, y'all,
yeah.
we're gonna spin the wheel to see who wins a free copy of PinBuilder. It's exciting.
Yay!
All right, let's spin it. There we go. It's spinning. Oh, wait. Where am I? There you go. And the winner is Surfer MK9.
Woohoo!
Awesome. So,
Surfer.
yeah, congratulations, Surfer. You had some great questions tonight. So thank you everyone for engaging in the chat too. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Surfer MK9, shoot me an email at marcotv@marcopinball.com and I'll send you your stream key. Congrats. Oh, yeah, you said woohoo. Yeah, I'll
Yay!
put it in right there. Marco Pinball.
Sweet.
marcotv@marcopinball.com. Awesome.
Nice.
All right, y'all. That's the show for tonight. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us late night. And we hope everyone has a good one. And we can't wait to see the tables that y'all create on PinBuilder.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much,
Whew.
Anna. Good night, everyone.
All right.
Actually, before we really leave, because on Twitch we like to raid our fellow pinballers and send everyone that's in the room to another pinball channel to support. So we're going to just quickly look to see who's online. And let's go visit.
He's got a Supercharger Max as well.
Ooh, let's go visit Hangar Pinball. They just did a dedication with Project Pinball in Tulsa, Oklahoma, putting a pinball machine in a Ronald McDonald House for children to play.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're super
Nice.
awesome. So let's go to Hangar Pinball, show them some love. So y'all stick around on Twitch, and we'll raid. And for everyone else, good nighty.
Good night.